What is up? Good morning, everybody. I am Fire Lotus, and this is the live Morning Witches Chat weekly that I do. I do these Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. They last anywhere from 30 minutes to an hour to 2 hours, and we've came close to breaking the 3 hour mark, but we haven't yet. We will be going over the last card in the Halloween Oracle deck. Today will be the last one. Whoop whoop. We finished it, y'all. What? On top of that, I believe since today's Friday, I want to say since Wednesday, for the people that do watch this on YouTube and not my Facebook, which you won't technically be able to see this until this is uploaded, all the videos that I haven't had posted on my YouTube just yet, that will be fixed tomorrow. Tomorrow, all the ones that I haven't posted, including this one today, will all be up at some point tomorrow. So definitely keep a lookout for that. Almost forgot something I always do. This, for anybody who is curious. God, this smells so good. This is full moon charged sage water, or vibrational spray. It is made by a very good friend of mine. She's the owner and operator of Three Sleepy Eyes Apothecary. You should totally check her out. She makes sprays. She makes homemade Florida water. She makes so much other stuff. Like, she makes soaps, shampoos, all natural, all organic. She literally, I call her an herbal alchemist because she does pure teen magic. Good morning. So yeah, I wanted to get that out, but I use this before, during, and after all of my lives. I also use this when I do my magic. Also, check out the Matrix app. I know I've been saying I'm actually going to post a link, and then I always forget, but today I'm actually making a note to post a link to the Astro Matrix app. It is an app that I've been using for about a year and a half now, going on 2 years. Okay, made the note. But Astro Matrix, it's free. Go to the App Store or Apple Store, download it. Basically, it uses your birth chart for anyone who doesn't know what that is, or natal chart. It's a screenshot of the exact moment you were born. The only thing you need when you download the app is the location you were born at, and then also the exact time you were born. If you don't have that, you can figure out your birth chart without it, but you need the time. That way it can be strictly for you. Once you do that, basically after that, it pulls, good morning, I love you too, Mom. It pulls everything. It pulls where your planets are at and everything like that. But the reason it's so cool is because it gives you hourly updates on what your planets are doing, or what planets are moving into what houses. And it can help you look out for a lot of things. It can help you stay out of sticky situations with miscommunications and all of that. It's an amazing app. Okay, with that being also stated, no, I'm not paid for anything that I advertise on these lives or in these lives. They're just stuff that I figured out that's free, and it helps me. I've learned a lot, actually, from using those apps with astrology, because I know astrology can be extremely intimidating for the people that don't really know that much about it. Even me, I've been practicing for 16 years, and I still haven't fully dedicated like a year of that to astrology. Mainly because you have to do a lot of math, and I can do a lot of things, but math is not my strong suit. Also, with that being stated, I hope y'all all enjoyed the full moon. For the people that didn't, you technically still have a chance tonight. It's still 99%. Ha! I can say this right without butchering it. 99% waning. There we go. And what we learned yesterday are... It's a good time for fortune. Today is also a perfect time to do healing spells or any type of spell for another person. Not to mention, it's Friday the 13th. I was actually going to have like a kind of special on Friday the 13th, but I woke up this morning. I did not go to sleep until 3 o'clock, or about 3:30 last night. And then I turned around and woke up at like 7:30 this morning. So when I first got up, I was not actually like sure if I was even gonna do one. Like I completely overdid myself last night. Not really overdid myself, but a lot of stuff happened last night in a very positive way. But a lot of stuff came forward last night during the full moon that I was not expecting, and it kind of, not really a whiplash, but it kind of was like, whoa, hello, wasn't expecting you, but alrighty then. So it's kind of, and then with the weird ass weather we're having here in Florida, like yesterday it was cold as shit. Today the high is supposed to be 75. In some parts it could hit 80. And then we have a giant pressure system, and pressure systems with me, how do you know you're getting old? When pressure systems actually start to affect your body. At least in my case, that's where I'm like, because here, like this year, I've actually gotten to a point where like, I know when the weather's going to change, or when it does change, because when we get those certain low pressures in, my back starts killing me, and just like, it feels like there's just a ton of bricks weighing me down. With that though, actually, this is something a lot of people don't know either. When it comes to certain full moons, you can actually get like, almost like a hangover over it. Now, what I mean by that, that's not just for practitioners. That's for anybody. The full moon, we already have scientific evidence that, well, I don't know if we fully have the evidence, but it's kind of stringish, like string theory. But basically, the most things, for one, you can look at some of the biggest cities throughout the United States and throughout the world, and their crime rates, or paramedics, emergency services, they spike during the 3 nights of a full moon, constantly. That's also where the word lunatic comes from. It literally derives from Luna, the moon, and then a tick, or lunatic, being crazy, basically. It's moon madness. And the reason that is, or what we believe the scientific reason behind that, is because what does the moon do to the earth? It affects I can't talk this morning. It affects the tides. During the full moons, it pulls on our Earth. By the way, I have to state this because my familiar this morning is in a little mood. If you hear a cat meowing or screaming bloody murder, I promise you he's not being murdered. He's pissed off because I will not let him in the craft room. I have stuff on 3 altars right now that cannot be messed up, that cannot be knocked over, and he's attempted to knock them over twice already this morning. He wasn't even supposed to be in here. So yeah, he's going through a mood this morning. Honestly, and this is also to show you how much, like, my cats are my children. He's currently going through his puberty stage of a cat. So if you ever read, I've read that, cats actually, they kind of act like toddlers, which means if you, like, tell your cat no, or, like, you don't do something it wants you to, it can retaliate and actually, like, act like a toddler and throw a tantrum. That one, that particular cat, like, if he's hungry and I walk past his food plate, he will pop me. He will literally chase me in the house and pop me every single time I walk by it where I don't feed him. So, yeah. So, just wanted to say that. I don't need PETA or anything like that called on me. But, back to the moons. Scientists also believe that the same thing happens with our bodies, because we're, I believe, 80% water. Don't quote me on that, but the majority of us, we are water. So therefore, it would only make sense that the full moon would also do with this. And to even break that down more in almost a psychological way, your chemicals in your body, aka, personally me, I have bipolar. Not to go really into that, but basically what that means is my brain does not produce the amount of chemicals that a normal person without bipolar or depression would do. So therefore, my moods are kind of, all over the place. Yeah, it was my cat. His mother is my first black cat that I've had since living here in Florida. Her name is Aphrodite. By the way, when naming your pets, if you name them after a god or goddess, just know that they will take on that personality. And then his father is Stripes, which is this giant black cat. Literally, he looks like a panther. This fluffy black panther that like lurks around our yard. But they're the father, or they're the parents of him and the two other ones outside, Salwin and Gemini. And that one, he legit has both personalities down the middle of his father and his mother. Aphrodite has this bedroom look that she gets, and she's also one of the only cats. She's very weird because she straddles stuff. I know that sounds weird, but instead of like a normal cat where they would find a comfortable place to be able to lay down, no. She likes to lay on her stomach with her arms and legs like crossed over the item. And then Stripes, which I believe I posted it. I know I posted it on one of my social media. Stripes, he does the bat cat thing, which is when he's comfortable and he was laying down, he'll bend his front paws like this and then hang his paws down. So like it's like this. And he literally looks like he's like this little bat. It's so cute. But that one in particular is a... I'm also really close to him though, because when he was younger, when we had the other female cat that I have, Magic, when we had her kittens in here, or not in this particular room, but in the house, we had Magic and her litter, or Aphrodite and her litter back here. So we had a flea breakout, and one of the kittens, Liquor, actually, I almost lost him. Like, straight up, I almost lost him. And I like asked Freya, because due to the fact that I have a lot of cats and like I treat my cats like my children, me and Freya have a really good communicational thing because she knows that I love taking care of cats. So I asked her, I was like, look, I'll do anything, just don't let this cat die. Like, no, I can't do it, just don't. 3 days later, after waking up getting up every 30 minutes to basically go put a syringe of water down his throat to keep him hydrated, finally got some wet food down on him, and now he is healthier than ever. We normally have all the cats that we have are all from one primary, one cat, except for the black and white cat that I have. I want her to be an inside cat because I know for a fact she either has Persian or Maine Coon in her because she's black and white, but she is fluffy. Honestly, she reminds me, and she has the look like she should be owned by like this 80-year-old billionaire that lives up in the middle of nowhere in this giant house with just her and her cats. That's who Magic should be owned by. And it's so cool because with Magic, she has this weird thing, and I still don't understand it. She will smell randomly either like sage or like roses mixed with rosemary. It's very weird because she is an outside cat, and to my knowledge, none of my neighbors allow her inside. They may feed her, but they don't really take care of her because they know that they're my cats. And she's an outside cat. For one, she stays really clean, but she always smells either like sage or rosemaries and stuff. And I'm just like, you really are a magic cat. Not you, Liquor. No. By the way, for anyone who's slightly curious about how he got that name, he got that name because he walks around sometimes and he'll have the very tip of his tongue sticking out. And then when he was younger, he would lick everything. Like, it was weird. He would lick everything. It was very weird. So it kind of just stuck. But he also, his other name is Spyro. And then the two kittens outside, which are I call them twins. They act like twins. They're also the Gemini twins / one is just Gemini, and then there's another one. He has piercing orange eyes, and he's the only one that has that darkness that he has in that orange in his eyes. So his name is Salwin. But I got sidetracked. Basically, scientists believe the moon can affect our chemicals in our brain, aka our water. So that's why there are some full moons where from midday, like, I automatically start feeling it. And it's good feeling. Like, legit, it's like I drank 3 energy drinks back to back. I love it. And then there are some full moons, typically if they fall in Aries, my first house, they will those can go 50-50 with how it affects me. I do not like Cancer moons. Nope, I do not like Cancer moons. But that's just a personal thing. But, so yeah, I was going to do a thing on Friday the 13th, but that kind of just didn't. And I was like, I started thinking about it after I got out of the shower. I was like, I have to do this live today, at least to finish the Halloween Oracle deck. It's okay, LOL. I don't know why I just said LOL. Wow. But yeah, I wasn't gonna do it, and then I was like, I have to do this because that's the reason I sped up the Oracle cards. That's the reason I read 2 yesterday. That way, I could jump on here and we'll finish it, and then start clean. But man, last night, like a lot of emotional stuff came up that I was not expecting that caught me off guard. And then I had client stuff that I had to do. Well, I did the client stuff. I kind of did them all together. Or in waves. Anyways, not the point of these. But, I noticed. Oh, for anybody who does have an Instagram and anybody who follows me on Instagram, today at any point, I know this is random. I normally don't do this, but I have to actually see if this is what's happening to my account. If you see anything that I posted in the past 2 days, let me know. Like, comment on it. Don't just like it. Comment on it. And the only reason I think that is because for some reason my Instagram account is being shadow banned. And the reason I'm trying to figure out if it is being shadow banned is because that Instagram is tied into this. Literally, Instagram was the first that I got, ours, where Fire Lotus started, basically, and then it moved to here. So, yeah. Liquor, you're not coming in. Please go and play in the living room. No, don't argue with me. You're making me look crazy online. Now he stops. But yeah. I do have something really excited that I didn't even know until last night could be a thing. I'm not going to state what that is until I actually do more research and really start going into that. But next year, the Fire Lotus page, and me and Fire Lotus and all my sprouts and all the other, whatever you want to call yourself, there are some big things that are going to be coming. There are things that are going to be coming that are in the early stages of works that I had no idea could even be a thing. And then all it took was one conversation last night, and all of this stuff was like, I guess I was like, realized for the very first time that I could do these things. So, yes, that's definitely going to go in there. I did also want to update for anybody who didn't see yesterday's, with my services. I do have the Amazon list. Like, if you don't want to, like, directly pay with money and you just want to buy a book or something like that and send it, that's perfectly fine. But that's going to be on the back burner until I can get a P.O. box. That way I'm not having to give my personal address out to everybody. So yeah. But other than that, I did just want to throw this out there because I normally don't. Yeah, I noticed my Instagram, I had noticed that, like, my stuff has been, like, dropping. My views have been dropping. But I also know that I do have a small number of people that, when they get the actual update that Instagram is supposed to send out to their phones, I know personally, for anybody, if you do see me on Instagram, which I'll probably jump on Instagram and also state this, I barely get any of my notifications anymore from Instagram. But the only reason I'm so adamant on that Instagram and on that account is because that's the account that I started at. I've had that for about 11 to 12 years now. And everything on there is all organic. Like, I didn't like, pay anything, promotions or anything like that. I gained all of that over that amount of time. So, like, Instagram, it's really pissing me off that, like, that's happening. With that, though, for the people that are slightly local to me, there's something in the works, And if this is a thing, it will be very, very small and very, very seclusive. There will literally probably only be like 3 or 4 people. But I'm trying to possibly put something together for New Year's. I don't know how it's going to work out, though, due to the simple fact it kind of messed with me when I realized New Year's is actually in the middle of the week. And I don't know why, like, for some reason in my head, like, I always expect New Year's to fall, like, on a Sunday. That way, like, it's more of, like, a complete cycle. But no, this happens on Wednesday. That's right, people. Our New Year's Day is going to be in the middle of the week. I'm sorry, but to me, that's like being a kid and realizing Samhain or Halloween is in the middle of the week. It just takes everything out of it. And then my partner's like, you do realize most everything is closed on New Year's, right? And I was like, no. I didn't know that. But yeah, new things will be coming. Hello! Oh my god, hello! How are you doing? Sorry, y'all got really excited. That is my sister. With that, for the people, because I do know I have a small amount of people that actually, like, try to view these regularly. If you are interested, even if you see this after my live, but this is very important, if you are interested in being the first members to be added to my specific group, this will not be a public group, it will be a private group, well, yeah, I knew Walmart closed on Christmas, but it's just, it's weird to think where, like, it's just weird to think, like, it's on New Year's, like, we're gonna start our New Year's in the middle of a week. Yes, I'm going to talk to you about that. I have to talk to you about that after this. Starting next year in January, I have at least, I think, 3, possibly now 4 people. I'm talking to somebody else, who is a YouTuber, that I will be slowly trying to bring people in to interview them. Okay, sweet. But yes, I will be, I got slightly sidetracked. But yes, I will be doing interviews and stuff like that. If you see these lives and, you know, you possibly be interested in me interviewing you for something, totally let me know. I have to check something really quick. Okay. Hold on, y'all. This may pause, but I swear I'll be back. Hold on. Okay, I'm back. Sorry. I was talking to my partner about handling some, bills and shit today. But I needed to go before I paid them. But yes, the group is working. Now, before I state this with this group, I am doing something I've never done. Like, this is the first time, and honestly, I think my entire life that I've been doing, that I have so much stuff going on. Oh, trust me, Emily, you were interesting. Because actually, I can actually interview you on multiple things. But the group originally, I'm going to make it to where some of them, I will be posting stuff that I will not post on anything else. I may jump on there and do random lives, but basically, it's for the people that resonate with these videos and how I practice, how I look at the world, how I incorporate stuff. It's just for all of us to basically kind of get together. Now, it is going to be different because you're not going to be able to add people, like, nothing like that, due to the simple fact that's normally how, like, groups themselves just go completely out. But yeah, that's coming. Groups are coming, or the group is coming, sometime by February or March. I should have a better setup to where I hopefully will be able to go, live on my YouTube, and the only reason I'm saying that is because with the YouTube live, you have way more freedom. Technically, you did. I don't know. They just changed their fucking, YouTube changed their policies, and, like, there's a lot of people stating that that policy change will be the end, to basically YouTube. So yeah. But there are things in the works. I have so many things. I will also be incorporating sometime next year a new type of divination. Well, it's new to me. Kind of. So yeah, there's a lot of new things, but I also do want to just put this out there because I don't advertise. I don't like advertising about it. Because I don't want to be like, I don't want to just be talking about, oh, my services, my services, my services. No. But I do want to throw it out there because a lot of people do not know. I do provide services. Um, and I'll work with you. Until I get my P.O. box up, I will work with you. Um, so yeah. There's something else really important I was going to say. Oh! I need to know by the end of this week for everybody that likes my page, that has followed my page, I need to know if y'all want to start breaking down the medicine wheel or the tarot. If we do the tarot, then I will find something else to, to look forward to at the end of these. But, I need to know, because if we do the tarot, then I will be doing the tarot starting January. And like I said, I'll be breaking the entire deck down, starting from the majors all the way to the minors, and then breaking those down into the 4 subcategories they're broke down into. So yes, that's going to happen at some point next year for the people that live in Florida. I will be planning an actual day where we will meet. Even with my agoraphobia, I don't know, I'll figure this shit out. I'm going to do this. Next year, I'm going to push myself in ways that I've never pushed myself before, but I will actually be doing a small get-together. I don't know how that's going to go. I don't know if it's going to be like a potluck. I don't know if it's going to be like, I don't know. I'm still trying to figure that out. There's going to be that, and then I have 2 things that I have to straighten here at my house, and then I will also next year be incorporating some weekends or possibly a night to where we can actually like hang out and possibly like, I don't know, do random stuff. The first thing that I will be doing in January, now for anybody who's never made one of these, or if you have made one, or if you actually want to just make this while hopefully a bunch of other people are also making it at the same time. With this, I may not be able to do it first thing in the morning like these, but I want to do a witches chat. I know, Emily, we do have to talk about next year of like coming out with a road trip or something. But I want to make a witches jar, and I want to do it on here, but I also want to be able to post the stuff that you can add to it. So, like, I'm going to have primarily, like, a list of 3, different types of correspondences, and it'll be for, like, protection of home, protection of love, or just general, protection or something like that. I'll tweak them a little bit as I'm doing this, but, sometime in January, I will be doing that, and I'll be posting that, and I'm going to make sure everything that's on the list you can either find in your house or you can get it at the Dollar Tree. And one night, we actually do a live where all of us at the same time, for the people that can tune in, will actually make the witch's jar, all of our witch's jars at the same time. I think that's cool because I personally I haven't seen really a lot of other people do it on any other platforms. So, and a witch's jar, even if you're not a practitioner, you don't have to call it a witch's jar, just call it a protection jar. And literally, it's just a jar that you put somewhere on your property, preferably burying it. But if you can't bury it, like I said, throw it in the top of your closet, throw it under your altar, throw it somewhere where somebody can't find it. You don't want that because it will have the essence of everybody in that household. I've done these actually one of my first times when I lived in Alabama on the farm is what I'll call it, the compound. Me and my 3 roommates, it was so cool because we actually got drunk. Like, it was like an adult, it was like painting in wine, except for it was witchy jars and drinking, like tipsy witchy jars. That should be a thing. I may do that, I don't know, but the witch's jar is definitely going to be a thing. I will make sure that I post it to where people can, you have enough time to like get everything up and going. So yeah, I have so much stuff, and then last night the tarot spread that I used, which is something I normally don't do. You can, for anybody, and this is really depends on the reader, if you do tarot cards and or oracle cards, and I'm about to slightly explain the difference of what they are, or the difference between them, but you can work them together, especially oracle cards. I've realized that oracle cards actually love working together. And one of the reasons, I did want to clear this up too, one of the reasons I preferably work with oracle cards is, and this is actually the difference, but I've learned that, or at least for me, with oracle cards, they can actually help you hone into your own special, unique intuitiveness. Because with tarot cards, you have two types of readers, and I could be saying this wrong, but this is how I interpret it. You have two types of readers, three types of readers. Witches jars? Oh, I didn't know that. Oh, or are you talking about oracle cards? I think you're talking about oracle decks. Okay, so yes. So we may figure this out. It may be that more than likely we'll be doing this one. And when we do this, I will actually start this like Monday. We'll pick this up Monday, and then whenever we finish this, either I get a new, or if I do get a new oracle deck, or we'll break this one down. But honestly, this is one of my favorite oracle decks because for me, I relay most of my emotions. Yes, I'm excited to have her back too. But with the oracle cards, I tend to realize that you can learn to intuitively read people. And the reason I'm saying that is because with the tarot card and how tarot cards work, and again, I'm not an expert on tarot cards, but I know how they work. Every single thing in this picture right now, every single thing can be broke down, and it is basically every single thing that you see, it kind of has a correspondent. Everything. That's basically how tarot cards work. You can also, and that's why I said there are technically three types of readers. There are the intuitive reader that just also has done a bunch of research and they understand all the symbolism behind tarot cards. And then there are also, oh, okay, see, I didn't know that. Oh, I bet your witch's jars look amazing, just due to how your natural flair to your stuff looks. By the way, everybody, on top of Jess, Jamethist, being an amazing creator behind Three Sleepy Eyes Apothecary, she is also an amazing artist, for the people that don't know that. Like, legit. I'm sorry, I had to throw that out there. Like, I do art, but her art is next level, and it will spiritually speak to you. Throw that out there. But, with the cards, there are also people that I've known, that I've met, that literally the reason they can read them is because they've studied them so much. Oracle cards, on the other hand, and the reason a lot of people necessarily don't like using them is because with a tarot card reading, I can break your entire life down, your past life, everything else, and I can go into as much detailing as these cards will let me. And by what I know from the book and everything like that, and how they work, and the symbolism behind them. Oracle cards, on the other hand, these are kind of like, they're just like, they're kind of, I don't want to say easy, but I had an exact analysis of what I was going to say yesterday to this. But basically, oracle cards traditionally, they only have one meaning, and normally they're to the point, and they're very, like, see-through. Like, it's how you read it is how it is with the definition. But with this one specifically, this deck, I've experienced working more and more with it, because I think I got this before. No, I got this when I was in Florida. So I want to say I've had this for 4 or 5 years now. These, possibly 3. I think 4. Anyways, with these, and even if I do this, I've only actually told what I saw in my head, to only 2 people that I've read. But with this particular one, for one, I know what the cards themselves mean, but I actually get, I don't want to say images because it's not like a picture, but it's almost like, it's like flashes of that person's life. So I don't tend to read a lot of people with these because to me, they're too in-depth in the simple fact, this particular personality, it does switch, this deck's personality, it does switch with the person. But normally, if I give you a reading with this and you have a specific question you want to ask it. Because if you don't ask it and you ask something else, this deck's going to call you out. I haven't given you a reading, buddy. Has these called you out emotionally? That was Liquor, everybody. He's literally camped outside the door. And the Native American deck, on the other hand, these right here will call you out emotionally, on an emotional, spiritual level. That's also one of these, they're like, I don't know why, and it's so funny because these were originally my partner's deck. And that's also, good morning. That's also another weird thing, too, because we can use, like, if he wanted to, he could legit pick up my Oracle deck, and he can do better readings from them sometimes than I can. Not with tarot, though. He's more of the Oracle card. But yes, if you want something that is not intimidating, and also Oracle cards come in, there are so many Oracle cards out there, just like there are decks. But for anybody who is curious or has always wanted to, my suggestion, unless you are just that person where you do want to challenge yourself, and it also depends on, you know, which one you're more drawn to, totally get a deck of tarot card, Oracle cards. I also have runes, but I do not know how to read them. I got a rune set when I used to work at my, the other store, Lunation that I used to work at, the hippie herb store. But I never really learned how to read them. But, the thing that I will be introducing very soon, and now when I say this and introducing, I will not be holding this for a service yet, because this is fairly new to me. And I don't know if she is still watching, but my sister, Emily, she does this or did this, I don't know if she still does, but I am currently in the process of learning to read bones. And I'm really, really excited. Liquor, you're okay, buddy. I promise you, you're not alone. I should have left the air conditioner on. But I will be, I'm currently in the process of learning to read bones. I didn't know if I wanted to say, yes, really good one. Also with that, and actually, yes, that's perfect. The Halloween Oracle deck. If you go to the App Store and type that in, if you can get the app to pull up, go to the creator of that app, because they have a bunch of other Oracle card apps. Some of them are free, some of them are not. But with those, you literally, with the Halloween one that I have on my phone, it was $2. Literally, I have the meaning to all of these, which is what I use in my readings. And that's just because I don't need the book anymore, but I also like, because of the small things, I just like, yeah, I'm weird. But, yes. Okay, then. As it stands right now, we will be breaking this down Monday. And there are, I want to say there are 38 cards in this. With that being stated, I totally should have unhung that. Okay, if you get the app, and for anybody, I've been saying this wrong, actually. The actual deck's name is Spirit of the Will Meditational Deck. But there is, and the reason I wanted to make that clear is because there is another deck out there that actually is the Native American Oracle deck, or it's a Tarot deck one. But, this particular deck came with I actually have the poster on my wall, but it is the actual Native American, well, diagram of a complete wheel. That is the medicine wheel. So I will post a picture of the actual poster that I have. And the reason I'm saying I'll post a picture is that way y'all can download it onto your phones, because if y'all wanted to, and even if you don't have Oracle cards, you could theoretically do that with tarot cards. Speaking of tarot cards, really quick, because I have to throw this out there. Anybody who is doing it, who is doing the 30-day Pinterest chalice. See, I actually think I have a book on, I had a book, like, I think I know what you're talking about with the almond sticks. I had a book that, it was a type of divination, and it was almost up there with the I Ching, which is the Chinese, technically the version of the tarot cards, roughly. But it taught you how to do divination without using cards, but it primarily taught you how to use sticks or stones or even popcorn. Oh, that is synchronicity. Slight synchronicity, because y'all two were talking about it, and then I mentioned it. And I'd been wanting to mention it before, but I've started this new thing where, actually, I did want to say a personal thank y'all to everybody who watches these, because the reason I'm so excited about finishing this is because all throughout my life, and this probably has to do with my chart, but all throughout my life, I've always had a problem with starting stuff and then for some reason not fully finishing them. Either that or I'll come back like 3 years later. Like the majority of all of my paintings, I'll start and then literally just stop, and either a couple of months, a few weeks later, or like a year or two later, I'll finish it. But since I have been doing these videos, since I've been doing these lives, I have been breaking that cycle. On top of us finishing this, and this is something personal, but I'm still going to throw it out there because you know I trust y'all. What does your box look like? Wait, are you talking about the box for the tarot cards? I don't actually have the box anymore. But this journal I started back in 2018. By the end of December, I will officially finish it. And the reason I wanted to do this or show this, it's not like a book of shadows, it's a personal journal, but to me that is one of the biggest accomplishments I have made, because like, and I'm still in a debate. For anybody who journals, let me know how you feel about this, because I had this weird notion, which was, I heard, it's an old wives' tale, and bear with me, humor me. See, I didn't know that. I did not know that about druids. Actually, one of the people, no, he's not druid. He is, Celtic? One of the people, my friend from the UK that I will hopefully be interviewing sometimes in January, he actually reads runes, and he fascinates me. He fascinates me on so many levels. For one, he's like my only friend in the UK, and I'm realizing we've had so many discussions of like how different everything is. But yeah, he does runes, and I will be hopefully bringing him in. But I always heard that if you break something, this goes back to the old wives' tale. Hello. If you break something, or if something is broken, you're not supposed to keep it in your house because it will attract broken things, broken energy. It's just like the episode that we had with hair. As Jess actually taught me, because I did not know, it is an actual thing that some cultures will keep braids of their hair for to show them basically, you know, how far they've come, which is also what I'm currently doing with my hair. And it struck a chord in me because I was like, wait, if I keep this journal that literally has blood, sweat, tears, holy God, the tears. But if I keep this, am I also holding on to all of that? And if I am, is that a good thing or a bad thing? So like I had a thought, I was like, you know what? Come Fourth of New Year. Wow. I'm trying to join 2 holidays. Come New Year's, I'm gonna set this bitch on fire. And then I was like, no wait, I'm going back and forth because like my Instagram, for example, one of the only reasons I created it is I created it for my kids. If I have kids, I literally want them to be able to be like, look, I went through certain shit when I was younger. Go to my Instagram, go to this site and look at all the posts and, see what I went through. And it's the same thing with the journal. Like, I may never have kids, but I would love, for me to be able to hand that down to somebody in my family and be like, well, look, you're going through some shit. Read this and, maybe it'll help. But at the same time, there's still a part of me that just wants to, like, set the shit on fire. But yeah, I'm finishing that one, and it's so funny because I can finish a journal, but I currently have 4 books of shadows that are not completely finished, but yeah, I have plans for that too. I'm eventually I want to get a blank leather-bound book, a big one, like charm size, like hocus pocus size, practical magic size. And then what I'm going to do is take everything and all of my other random stashes of notes or symbols or other magical notes and stuff. And then I'm basically going to take everything apart and throw it all in. And then I also am working on a kind of like a digital book of shadows or grimoire, because it's very hard for me. The type of magic that I do with my spells, I can take a picture of them, but I don't have it in me to sit down and write every single thing, because this is just a personal preference. So if you are a practitioner and you don't follow this, it's completely fine. But I don't like using spells repeatedly. Like, I don't like using the same thing over and over again. So even the spells that I do have in my Book of Shadows, and I'm not going to lie, that was actually something that I was going to... This was something... There's a theory of people burning their journals to break cycles or emotions attached to it, like being reborn in a sense. Thank you! See, I may do that. That's what I was thinking, but because this book, if you've known me before this year, when I was in Alabama, or if you follow me on Instagram, buddy, you were completely fine. And if I let you in here, you're going to lay in my lap, and then you're going to get rowdy, and then you're going to knock shit over, and like I stated before, I have stuff I don't need knocked over. But this is actually one of my first Book of Shadows. My ex actually gave this to me. He actually dedicated it, or gifted it to me. And it's one that I always go to, but it's so weird because a lot of the spells in here, they're not mine. I wrote them down, but they work. There are plenty of stuff in here that I personally did create, or me and my partner at the time created. But it's just weird because it's also cool too, because I can look back and like, okay, that's how I viewed this. And then I can look back and I'm like, okay, that's how I can view this. And actually, with that journal, I have something else to show really quick. This is a journal that I got on January, or the first day I wrote in it was January the 1st, 2011. Read the whole thing at the end of the year and look. Yes, thank you. I like that. I may actually do that. Actually, if I was going to burn anything, it'd probably be what I'm about to have in my hand. This is a journal that I've had since 2011. And it's so weird, actually, thinking about what I just thought about. I may not actually burn this one because, this particular journal, I had a theory. I'm not going to throw the name out there that I picked, but for some reason I got it in my head back in 2011 that I was going to journal, and once I got 2 or 3 journals, I was going to turn them into books. And the reason that is because, like I stated, I'm bipolar. And depending on how long you're around me, you may or may not know that. My journals, on the other hand, not even due to what's said, but due to how my handwriting looks. I normally, which I used to like hate this, but I've actually realized that it's actually, it could be it's a sign of intelligence, but I have sloppy ass handwriting. I can read it. People around me that know me, they can read it, but it's not something that, like, I'd want to blast out there. It's chicken scratch, basically. But the cool thing is, depending on my moods, or depending on certain moods, depending on it, when I drink, and even when I smoke, when I've had a couple bowls and, I'm like baked, my handwriting gets 10 times better. And even my spelling corrections when I drink. And the reason I was saying this is because I was told before that, basically, for one, that shows that I do have ADD due to the simple fact it takes alcohol and THC, or weed, marijuana, to slowly calm my brain down. And that's also the reason I was so nervous about doing these videos. And if it actually wasn't for my friend Angel, who shouted me doing lives, because I was just doing these on YouTube. I was specifically making YouTube videos and TikTok content, and then 1 or 2 videos on Instagram. But the problem with that was I work better, as I'm pretty sure y'all can tell by now, I work better when I have an audience, because due to the fact that, it's not just me sitting here, I have people that, it's like a think tank. It bounces stuff off, it gets my brain going, but as you can tell, I'm all over the place. I jump back and forth, back and forth. That's how my brain works, though. But yeah, I was originally going to put them all in a journal and be like, this is my life. I don't know if I'm going to do that now, but, and it's so weird, too, because, like, when's the last time I wrote in this? Oh, wow, I wrote in this September apparently this year, which is weird. But, yeah, I don't know why I had a thought to show you all that, but, like, I thought so. It's so funny, too, because I can show this to, a few of my friends, and, like, they'll stop, because, actually, no. Oh, that just got sad. Anyways, I'm done with that moment that I just had. So, yes. I actually believe that we will be doing the Native American deck, and then I also have something very special to say, and, next week, I will be talking about something that I talked about yesterday, but it wasn't until, I have to scroll through to make sure I get this name right. Okay. Mindy, thank you so much for sending me the post that you sent me yesterday. As anybody who doesn't know, yesterday I announced that, which it wasn't an announcement, because I don't care if people know or not, but I am androgynous, or, like I learned yesterday, 2 spirits. Basically, what that means is, and this is so freaking cool, and it was so mind-blowing, because I had heard about this, I did not know this, I'm not going to fully go into it until I do more research, but Native Americans believed that there was an actual third sex. So instead of just male and female, they believed that basically there were certain people that were called 2 spirits that they embodied in a perfect balance of both masculine and feminine. Me, if you've ever hung out with me in person, you know that I have a lot of feminine qualities, but I also have a lot of masculine qualities. And I used to go back and forth with, like, struggling with the whole, like, the whole I don't think a lot of issues with that. But I've recently come to terms this year with the fact that I am two spirits or androgynous. And I personally think I bring that balance perfectly. It's also, and to even kind of get this, okay. Sorry, I'm reading a comment. This is very true with the journal. But, Liquor, please stop, buddy. Yeah, you're fine. But, yes, and they still believe this. But I've always, for one, and psychologically, my theory on this is this. I could be completely wrong. I was not raised by my father at all. He was in my life up until I was 4. So, take away that, I was primarily raised by my mom. And I'm not saying it's just that, because even when I was younger, I felt this, like, I was extremely emotional, I was extremely in touch with my emotions, and I was extremely sensitive, just in general. But I believe that, and actually my partner is the opposite of this, which is awesome. My partner, lost his mother when he was 13. So he was primarily raised by his father. And his father is part of that era, that good era, honestly, of basically, that whole stereotype of men don't cry, men do this, men, when I first got down here, for what generation I'm talking about that his dad's from, it's from the generation where mental illnesses and depression and shit like that, they're not real and it's just in your head and you can push through. Now his dad knows that's not true, but he was raised to believe that. So, due to that and due to the fact that I was raised primarily around females, I don't have that, I know, Mindy said that too. He is literally standing at the door, meowing. Hold on, I'm gonna go get him. You win! You win, you win, you win. But I'm telling you now, you are not going to be... Yeah, come on. Come here. No, you wanted in. You've made your presence known to all the people on Facebook. So, let's go introduce you. Everybody, this is Liquor. No, we talked about this, buddy. You got to sit in my lap. I got stuff that you cannot knock down. But I was primarily raised by females. He was primarily raised in a more masculine environment. So therefore, as kids do, what do you do when you grow up? Depending on your environment, it's also where you get some of your personality and traits from. So, for example, when I was in school, at multiple schools, everybody always thought I was gay just due to the simple fact, when I walk, I swing my hips. I can't help it, it's just how I walk. But, growing up, I always, it was like a constant war with, why do I not feel masculine? Why do I not feel like, I can hang out with the real men and all the other shit? And of course, as I've gotten older, I've realized it's completely all in my head and people don't think that way. But, I still have moments, and this is going to be completely weird. So, sorry at this point in my videos, though. Like I said in my, yesterday's video, I believe that I was, in one of my past lives, I was a female. Because there are moments where I can look in a mirror, and this is gonna sound extremely weird, and I cannot believe I'm putting this on the internet, but legit, I have moments where it's like, there should be something there. It's very weird. It's a very weird thing, and it's like the first time I've tried putting it to terms. No, for the people that think it, I do not believe that I'm trans. I don't believe that. In the simple fact, I love my body. I appreciate how I look. I love all the equipment that I have. But that's also, I believe, it's part of that past life. Like it's that remnants of that life. And as the simple fact that, I'm growing in spirituality and learning all these things, it kind of makes sense. And then when she sent me that link yesterday and like I was reading it, I was like, holy shit, this even makes my own beliefs in what I'm doing deeper, because I knew and I'd heard previously that Native Americans believe that there was a third type of sex. It wasn't just male or female. But I had never actually read anything on it. And then she sent me that link. So I was like, holy shit. And see, it's stuff like that is the reason that I keep saying that tapping into your ancestral knowledge is extremely easy. You just have to do it. Okay, I'm so glad I'm not the only one. Like, I am so glad I'm not the only one who, like, believes that, like, because when people talk about past lives, a lot of people don't really go into, like, you can be legit, like, you could be a chick, or, which, I mean, some do, because I've been told before that, or I've seen before where, like, the people that I was with that was getting that type of reading, their son was actually, in a past life, their mother. So, like, the son in this life was actually in a past life the mother of his mother in this life. And that also goes into the soul group or soul cup. It's, I want to say it's Penzac. It could be different, but Christopher Penzac, he's the one that writes the Temple series. One of his theories behind past lives and the people that you meet and you, like, instantly know them. It's like you've been friends for years and, like, your entire life, but you just knew, like, you legit just met them. His theory behind that is when we die, our souls go to this ocean of souls. And it's perfect that I have a cup. Actually, no, wait, I have a chalice. Hold this thought. Okay, so he believes that this right here, since I don't have anything to put, but this right here basically, say it's an ocean of souls. The divine hand, whatever that is, God, goddess, spirits, ancestors, just pure energy, swoops in with the chalice, does like this, and all the souls, all the soul remnants that is in that cup will be born. When they're born, all of those souls will come together in that life. No matter what happens, at the end of everybody's life, they will all come together. Wait, I have to read comments really quick. Oh, that is so awesome! And thank you so much. Yes, I'm totally embracing it. And honestly, it's very powerful. Just very powerful. And yes, I will definitely message you the names and the names of that book, or the author in the books. But so yeah, that's his theory. Like I said, he's a really, really good, like, hands down, if you were to come to me, or if Sprout were to come to me and be like, what would you suggest the first book I get is? Legit Penzac's Pimple series. Wow. Temple series. Nope. See there? Nope. Come on. No. I have stuff up there, buddy, you cannot knock down. Yeah. Oh, my mind just went completely blank. But, yeah, see, I totally believe that you can, what you said, Jamethus, I totally, but, hold on. Nope. See, this is why I didn't let you in here. Yeah, I love you. Oh, you got to go. But, yes, I completely believe that. And like I've stated before, I've found somebody, or I've met somebody in my life that we're like we're soulmates, but not in the intimate way. We're just friends, strictly just friends. But at some point in our past lives, I'm pretty sure, I guarantee you, we had an intimate life. And it's so weird too, because that's the person that, like, he's the only person that has ever freaked me out when it comes to knowing what I'm doing, magic wise. He's the only person that has ever been able to, like, legit. He called me out on it. It was very freaking weird too, because, yeah. Um, See, and that's what, and it drives me insane when people's like that, when they're like, well, no, I don't believe in past lives. And I'm like, well, what? For one, why? For two, how the hell do you explain all of the shit that, like, there are stories of children being born, waking up. There was a boy who, he was, the princess of, UK. I cannot believe Princess Diana. There we go. Cool. Princess Diana, he had details about that family that was never released to the public, and he was only like 5 years old. There was the other one that I want to say it's in Iceland or in Germany. He not only did he remember his entire past life, but he actually solved a murder through it, and the guy who killed him in a past life, I don't know if he was actually arrested and charged for it, but he went straight to him and told him. And a running theory behind that is actually your birthmarks. And I don't know how I feel about this, because I'll go into that too, but your birthmarks, some people believe that your birthmarks is actually a way, or it basically it's a scar of how you died in a past life. I don't understand that, because me and my mother, we have the exact same birthmark. I love that, like, there's a community now. Like, we all have a community now to where, like, because I would not, and it's very weird too that I say this because it's a live, but when I do lives with y'all, it doesn't seem like a live. It seems like we're just in, like, this chat room. It's very weird. But, past, birthmarks, I have the same one as my mom, which is on my back, and you can't see it unless I, like, basically, the only time it's visible is when I get out of the shower, due to the simple fact of how hot I have the water and it changes my skin color. You can see it. But yeah, some people say that that's actually how you died in a past life. um I don't really know about that, but coming back to, like, me bracing everything, one of the reasons, and this is going to be very well, kind of funny, when I was in Alabama before, and some of my friends that I was hanging out with, they were into drag. They were drag. Well, actually, He was a retired drag queen. I think he's doing it again. I'm not for sure, but I was always curious about walking in heels, because I learned that high heels, the Roman gladiators actually used them. They were, I I don't know the reason they used them, but for any guy who sees this, unless you put on a frickin' thing of high heel shoes, and I don't mean like stilettos, just high heel shoes, and walk around in them, there's a reason. I understand why females wear them. They are empowering as fuck. Just literally putting them in and walking around, they're empowering as fuck. And I can run in high heel shoes. I can walk in high heel shoes. No problem. And that was one of the reasons I was just like, well, shit, wait, why? Like, there are certain things that come to me, and then there are conversations that I can hear or, like, listen to, and it'll be like a husband and wife, or like boyfriend and girlfriend, and then they look to me and they're like, so what do you think? And I'm like, I'm biased, because I completely see where she's coming from and everything she just said, but I kind of also see where he's coming from too. Um, and honestly, that's what I'm realizing. That is what I'm realizing. I came to that realization yesterday, or the day before yesterday, actually, but I talked about it yesterday. I came to the realization that a lot of the issues, the self-esteem issues that I have, for one, they tie back to when I was, like, way younger and insecure and, like, the whole teenage thing. But there's a part of my mind that almost kind of never left that. It's like I'm almost in high school when I go out in public. So, like, I automatically think everybody, when I do get looks in public, I think everybody is staring at me because there's something wrong with me. My partner has tried, not literally, but he's tried beating it in my head that that's not the reason people are looking at me. But using these, using these videos, it's helped me realize that, wait, I can be both. Like, why not? And it just rings true. Yeah, dude, I love walking in high heels, like, legit. And I only have one pair. They're not, like, actual regular high heels. They're more, of, like, more dressy. And I would wear them in public. The only issue that which I actually have, I've worn them in public the day that I got them. And I'm breaking a cardinal rule, but I'm doing it anyway. But one of the main issues, I started realizing this last year when I was living in Alabama. And then when I came here, I have this thing, and in relationship-wise, like, it's a gift and a curse. When I'm with somebody emotionally and, like, there's a strong attachment there, I cannot lie to them. Like, at all. And what I mean by that is, like, if I were to do something that I knew for a fact went against our relationship, I would have to tell that person, because me keeping it from them drives me crazy to the point where it triggers me to go through, like, an episode. So my own body tells on myself. And that's basically what happened. Like, I went through this really, really rough episode. I know, thank you. I read that, or I remember you telling me that yesterday. I was just like, and it's so strange because all of this is syncing up. And right before I started doing these lives, I was, my friend Angel that I talked about, he was kind of, him and my partner were both, like, pushing me to do this. And I'm like, I don't want to do this until I'm ready. And they're like, sometimes you don't know you're ready until you're kind of out there. And it's what it is. Like, I realized, I was like, my biggest fear, I think, see, I already feel that comment right there. Like, I already feel that. Yes! And see, I was told my first psych evaluation when I was 13, he looked at my mom and he looked at me and he goes, there's nothing textbook I can diagnose him with. He's an old soul, though. Like, he's an old soul and he has imagination of a 10-year-old. And he's 13. That's really good. I've also kept that. For the longest time, when I first got to Florida, y'all would not recognize me. And the simple fact, I used to have the biggest Peter Pan complex. But, actually, it was around the time my grandmother passed. This is going to get a little dark, a little heavy, but, it was around the time my grandmother passed. Right before she passed, she'd seen me put my hair up in a ponytail for the first time. And she stopped me and she's like, you need to start doing that. It looks really good on you. So I was like, okay. And my mom came over the following day and I put on full makeup. And my grandmother, I always have a hard time finding this, but she had this makeup that's a mousse. And the reason I love it so much is because I still have acne scars and I have really big pores. So when I use that mousse type makeup, it literally gives me, like, a complete brushed look, like airbrushed look. And I walked out and my mom's like, I don't notice anything. My nanny did. She noticed it right off the bat. I walked up under the light and she saw it and she goes, you're really good at makeup. And I'm like, thank you. But that was somehow, to me, that was that it's okay. And then when I got down here, when me and my partner got back together, I was like, well, fuck. Like, these are things that, depending on the relationship, they can break them. And so funny, the response I got. He looked at me and he goes, okay. He's like, what were you expecting a bad answer? Like, I'm not going to tell you can't do this or you can't do that. Be fucking you. He goes, I don't care. At the end of the day, as long as you still love me and as long as you don't leave me, I'll be happy. And I'm like, okay. So, and I started like incorporating it. And then since I've been doing these lives, I've been slowly doing it. And then with the makeup and everything and all the feedback I was getting, I was just like, okay, I'm going to just do this. And for some reason, it just feels right to say that, like, I'm two-spirit or, like, I'm androgynous because, I mean, yeah, I like the fact that I'm a male, but at the same time, I'm extremely envious. Like, when men freak out, like, um, with the whole pregnancy thing, to me, that is one of the most beautiful, interesting, fascinating concepts that y'all have the ability to carry and nurture life inside of you and then birth that out into the world. I mean, true enough, I understand, like, the men have the seed part in that, but the process and then the hormones and the chemistry and how the baby and the mother bond, that is just so fucking fascinating and beautiful to me. Like, just the thought of having something else in you, like the power. And I'm just like, and then, like, I can talk like that to other men and they look at me like I'm crazy because, like, the machine that they have that you can be hooked up to where you feel contractions, I would love to do that just to be able to experience that. I mean, and I know some people look at this and you're like, what? But to me, I don't know why that is just such an amazing thing that humans, and we start out so tiny, so freaking tiny, and then we grow to this. It's mind-blowing. And it's so funny with that too, because for the people that just don't believe in anything, I'm like, how can you not? That's magic in itself. Literally, we start as a freaking bean, a little bitty magic bean, and we go from a little bean to a bouncy bean to a baby bean to this. It's insanely fascinating. Which this isn't insanely fascinating due to the fact that it can be extremely painful and discomforting, but even that time of the month is fascinating to me. Because, like I've stated before, I've dabbled in blood magic. I use blood magic sometimes. See, I bet that is, and see, if I what in this life, if I would have been a female, that's how I'd do it. Like, the home birthing idea, and when I realized that you can give birth in water and the babies know, like, it won't hurt them or anything, I was just like, oh my God, are you, like, who wouldn't want that? Why would you want to be in a hospital with all the sterile and coldness when you can be at home in your own environment with, like, lights, candles going, warm and just loving and nurturing? And it's just like, and then the people, yes, it's so insane because, like, and then the people, men and women on this one, I'm not going to be sexist, that, like, actually help in the process of making a child and then just up and leave. Or the people that, like, the parents that turn their backs on their kids for being different. The very, very core of me, I don't understand that. Like, it just doesn't register in my head at all. That, like, how you could do that. Yes, exactly. I'm getting chills talking about this. I don't know why, but yes. Like, that moment where, like, you feel it and you're like, oh my God, there's life in me. Like, men don't have that. I mean, they do through proxy of realizing, hey, my life's about to change. I have this gorgeous baby coming. But for the people that just, like, I'm just like, I don't understand that. Like, and that leads into so many other things. Like with me, if I had the chance, yes, I would love to actually have a surrogate child. If not, I would love to adopt. Um, Personally, and this is so weird too. I didn't even know that was a thing. Is that actually a thing where you get phantom, like, oh, that is so amazing. It's just, yes, it's an incredible thing. Like, to even think about it. And then, I don't know, for some reason, it's always fascinated me. Completely fascinated me. But even when I was younger, before I came to the factor that I'm technically my sexuality, I'm technically pans, but I'm with a guy and I've been with guys. I've always said that I'm going to have twin girls. This is very weird too. But I even have two necklaces that was not my grandmother, but my grandmother's mom. So my great grandmother. She had two, she loved stage costume, or stage jewelry. Um, and actually one of them is real. But I have two necklaces that I kept that my grandmother gave to me because she knew that I always liked jewelry. And I have them up on my altar now. They've always been on my altar. They're in this little box, and one is a ruby. I want to say a ruby and a sapphire. I bet, man, that would have freaked me out too. I would have been like, "Wait, you're there? What is this?" Yeah, see? Oh yeah, I know at some point in time in my life, I'm gonna have a child, but I don't know why. And I have those necklaces, and then my pentagram. My first child, even if they practice or do not practice, that is being passed down to them. And hopefully they will, follow that same path. And, hopefully 50 years, 50 generations down the road, if we're still all here and everything, it'll still be passed down. Um, but yes, I do. I'm about to read the Oracle card of this morning, the last of the Halloween Oracle deck. And it's been really fun doing them too, because it's so weird for the people that's been like watching these. Y'all know that like this is all alphabetically, and I don't plan any of this, but some of these cards have like been spot on with either what's been talked about in the lives or like what's been going on in people's lives. And then like yesterday, my really good friend, uh she's on both Facebook and Instagram, but on Instagram she's just now, and she's actually one of the first people that I'm not going to say I taught them, but I helped, kind of like lead them, or at least until they got to where they're at now. But she does general readings, oracle readings. And I will post her actual name to her profile in the comments, because she recently changed her name, and I'm not used to it, so I don't want to like give out the wrong information. But yesterday in her video, she did a general reading, and she made an IGT video. So I shared it and was like, hey, y'all should totally go check this girl out. She's amazing. She's magical. Check her out. Through that, she realized of me sharing it, she saw the time of her video, and it was actually 222. So, like, it was very similarity. And then on top of that, I mentioned yesterday when I was turning about age-wise that, instead of, like, saying you're turning, whatever you are, say you're leveling up. What's insane was she actually stated that. Like, she said that in her live yesterday. She's like, level up. And I'm just like, holy shit, another synchronicity. Like, there's so much stuff that has been syncing up and syncing up. And then I've had people tell me and message me and give me feedback of the same thing. Like, they've had stuff sync up, and it's insane to see how this is all blossoming. And literally in my head, I see just a lotus, and it's just exploding open. And yeah, I had to say that. Like, thank you all so much. This has changed my life. Read this comment. Okay. I will look forward to that. Oh, wait, hold on. I have to make 2 notes because I have to message the name to the books. Books. And then the other one was my train and my brain just went. Oh, yeah. The group. Okay. Had to make notes. Okay, so to finish this amazing deck, and I believe some people may know what this card will be, but I also have to make sure this is the last card. Yeah, because we did Winter and Witch yesterday, so, yep. Today's card is the Zombie, and it states control. The dead arises, voices are mumbling, after our brains are screams they are tumbling. Zombies have become quite the fascin recently. Much like vampires, turn on the television and you can't escape the moaning and groanings of these, the living and the dead. And yes, they do seem to be after your brains. That's actually something that's kind of like worked its way out, and I'm kind of like, what happened to the actual zombies that could only survive on brains? There are even public zombie walks where people dress up as zombies and appear in a mass on roads and in cities. But zombies are not merely a fun icon of pop culture. Traditionally, they are mainly associated with the African and Haitian voodoo religious. Zombies are said to be dead bodies reanimated by the incantator chanted by a leader practitioner called I'm probably going to butcher this word, but Bacher, and they are usually elived for a purpose. This practitioner is said to capture part of the living soul to animate the body, and that is always a temporary action, as the soul cannot be contained in the decomposing body for long, or God will take the souls back. Now, with that being stated, for the people that do not know, there are, I believe the most recent was back in the 60s, there are still actual evidence and, like, events to involve voodoo zombies. Like, historically, you can look that up. There have been a lot of strange events and scenarios that have happened with that. There's also a herb. I don't know the actual name, but it's known as one of the world's deadliest drugs due to the simple fact, it can be absorbed through the skin, absorbed through the nose, smell, the eyes, or digested. But basically what it does is once your body has came into contact with it, is it cuts that part of your brain off that gives you free will. Like, it cuts that part off to where you can say no. So literally, you could put this on a business card or a card or something like that and have somebody touch it, and literally, I think it's for like, I don't know for how long the effects last, but literally you become not mindless, because you are aware of everything that's going on and you have some control, but you can't say no, you can't, like, yeah, it very dangerous. Luckily, though, it's not in the United States, or it's not processed or created in the United States. One of the most frightening aspects of the idea of zombieism is the idea of our souls and consciousness being trapped inside a body that does not do bidding but someone else's. Another idea being buried alive, the fate of some, it is said, who get trapped in an already dead body. Oh. And, what was I gonna say? There's a podcast for anybody who is currently interested in the zombie, voodoo history. If they have done it, there's a podcast that I was listening to right before I came on here, that they were supposed to be actually doing a dedicated, episode to, zombies and stuff. I think I missed something. Oh, no, wait. Edit. Wow. Um, but yeah. Uh, that's what I have to do. I'm sorry, y'all. I know I've been slacking. List of podcast and videos. List of podcast and YouTubers. But legit, that's how I've been learning a lot of the information that I learn. Is there's not a lot out there, I will say that I ring to, but there are a few podcasts that I listen to where all of the stuff that is stated in it is, like, they do a shit ton of research on it. So for anybody who does, I will definitely, make a list today. After I do my bills and shit, I will personally sit down and link everything together. And if I don't do it today, then I will do it tomorrow once I have unlimited access to the internet. And yes, for anyone who does tune in after this, if you are interested in the group that I've talked about, let me know. But I'm almost done. Stop. You're not dying. Should the zombie step unsteadily into your life, it is time to look at the concept of control. Do you want to control everything, leaving little to free expression? Do you choose partners who are not equal so that they are more easily manipulated and changed to your liking? Or do you allow that to happen to you? If you are not living your most authentic life, it is time to look at why and how to change that. Blessed be. So yeah, everybody. For one, yeah, I got slightly, well, no, it wasn't necessarily sidetracked. There's a slight delay, but I don't know if it's from my audio in the video or if it's the actual delay of me reading the comments and receiving the comments. But yes, on this card, it is basically ask, are you living your most authentic life? And if not, why? Which, again, it freaking resonates with what we just said. That was literally part of this live was, me coming into my authentic true self, which is two souls. Honestly, it's also, and I've been very hesitant about mentioning this particular thing that I am about to mention, because I know if anybody just randomly scrolls through and that's all they hear on this, I could be linked to, like, negative stuff. But Baphomet, actually, I've always been drawn to Baphomet. And it's so funny because when I was younger, I actually thought I was just drawn to, like, Satan. And then I realized that Baphomet is not Satan, and that's a completely different thing. But here's something else I did not know. Loki also apparently was androgynous. Like, due to the trickster aspect, he was androgynous. He was like two souls. And actually for him, he was actually, no, not him. There's another, that's what I forgot to look up. I discovered that there's a god, or a deity, that is, it's from the Greek, I believe, yeah, it's from the Greek, because it's Aphrodite and Hermes' son, or two souls, because I don't know the proper pronunciation of that, but okay, it's the comments. Whew. They had a child, and that child was actually a hermaphrodite. Basically, it was the actual definition of two souls. Which is very interesting because out of all the years that I've been studying and researching stuff, I did not know that there were actual androgynous and or hermaphrodites deities, which is very cool. So yeah, I'm going to jump off here because I have some adulting and lists to make and all that other stuff. But thank y'all all so much. Like, y'all do not understand. Thank y'all so much for jumping on here, for viewing these every day. Oh, that is so awesome. And you were totally right, Mindy. I'm not. Like, I realize now that, you know, I'm on the right path, whatever this path is taking me. And I'm so happy, y'all, that that message resonated with y'all. But thank y'all so much for joining me. I will be seeing y'all again Monday or possibly in the group. We never know, Saturdays and Sundays can be wild around here. Anyways, with that being stated, I hope y'all all have a amazing, magical Friday the 13th. Whoop, whoop. It is TGI Friday, people. Thank God it's Friday. But, yes, with that being stated, yeah. If you like this, if you resonate this, if you stumble upon this somehow, share it, like it, tell a friend, send it to a friend. Oh yeah, 2020 is going to be the year, y'all. 2020 is going to be the year of change. It is going to be the year of finding yourselves. And personally for me, it's going to be a year of some, deep-rooted healing. Like, I'm gonna dig deep down and, heal as much as possible. So yeah, and hopefully very soon, I will be having a new look. I'm not cutting my hair, but I'm trying to decide what color I want to do to it this time. It's not really going to hold up to bleach, because in order for me to bleach it, I would have to cut about 4 inches off, or no, about 2.5 inches off. So yeah. But yes, with that being stated, I hope y'all all have a magical morning, noon, day, night. I don't know your life. And thank y'all so much. And yes, have a blessed day, and peace.